That's brought us to what we have for today. And this is, you have to know about what this is all about. What are all these? Before that, can someone tell me what is the difference between test plan and test strategy? What is test plan? What is test strategy? I explained to you what is this test planning. Yeah, I told you that test planning, you have the blueprints and the test strategy document is being implemented. So what is this test planning and what is test strategy? Anyone have any idea? Nika, do you have any idea?
I think
To me, the test plan sometimes is kind of a document for software projects, yeah, that define the approach, yeah, in between. But the test strategy is kind of instruction being given or protocol that explain the text design and determine how the test plan should be performed in
Exactly.
different phases.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is why I asked you this, because this is most interview asking questions. What is different between this test planning and test strategy? First, you will create, you know that you create the strategy, okay? And then you plan for it. So strategy can be like, I will be doing automation, I'll be doing manual testing, I'll be doing database testing for this application. So for all this, you have to plan for your testing, okay? So now coming to very important topic for testing. So it requires a lot of attentiveness. It requires a lot of your attentiveness to understand this topic for today, what we have for today, which is about the test scenarios and test cases. Okay. For anyone who is coming to the testing field, okay, all of you will be working as a test engineer somewhere after some time. For you, it's very important to understand what are test scenarios, what are test cases. Even after so much experience, people do find it confusing. What is test case? What is test scenario? So, what are these test scenarios? Okay, I've been saying it in the previous classes, to be permit to be matrix. So that's what I want to break it down so that you guys understand what it is actually. What you'll be doing in your day-to-day activity as a tester. So any functionality that can be tested, it is also called test condition or test possibility. Don't get it twisted. If you see test scenario, if you see test condition, if you see test possibility, they're all the same thing. The word are all the same thing. So this test scenario, I'll be telling you what it's all about and how to create a test scenario. What are the tips to create the test scenario? But you should understand that any functionality that can be tested, it is called the test scenario for that particular application. What are the test scenario for this application? So how to create a test scenario? Now, each test scenario should be tied to a minimum of one requirement or user story as per the project methodology. I don't want to talk much about user story. We want to start doing Agile, Scrum, you still understand what user story is, but you should know that each test scenario should be tied to a minimum of one requirement or user story as per the project methodology. Second point will say that before creating a test scenario that verifies multiple requirements at once, ensure you have a test scenario that checks that requirement in isolation. Now, top is saying that avoiding creating over complicated test scenarios spanning multiple requirements. So what is this point two is saying? He said before creating a test scenario that verifies multiple requirements at once, ensure you have a test scenario that checks in isolation. Okay. Third is that avoiding creating overcomplicated test scenario spanning multiple requirements. What this means is that all your test scenarios should be simple. That's what he's talking about. Avoid creating overcomplicated test scenario spanning multiple requirements. Okay. It means that all your test scenarios should be simple. Don't create any complicated test scenarios. For example, now I have to search anything on Google. Okay. I have to search anything on Google. So don't create a test scenario on search a mobile phone in Google. Like, let me take this for instance now. This is a Google search, right? You know, it's Google text box, right? Where you search your search engine, right? On Google, I want to search something on Google. Okay. I want to search type of mobile phones, maybe iPhone 12, iPhone 13, 15, or whatever it is. So I have to search anything. If I'm searching anything on Google, don't create, if I create a test scenario, don't create a test scenario on search a mobile phone, like search a mobile phone on Google. And after the first result, click on the button. Like, you know, when you search for mobile phone now, maybe you search for iPhone 12. You know, this page will open that, you know, it will open. You understand how Google, how search engine is. There are different type of search. You see different options. So you click on that link. No, you are creating multiple test cases here, test scenarios here. Sorry, you are creating multiple test scenarios here. That's why it said avoid creating overlining complicated test scenarios spanning multiple requirements. I have to search anything on Google. Don't create a test scenario on search a mobile phone on Google, and after the first result, click on the button. No, it means you are actually covering two scenarios. You're actually covering two scenarios here. I hope you guys are following. Any question, just let me know, okay? So don't create a test scenario on search a mobile phone, and after the first result, click on the button. It means you are actually covering two scenarios in single sentence. Search a mobile phone on Google, and after the first, click on the button. No. Hope you get it now. Avoid creating overcomplicated test scenarios spanning multiple requirements. Okay. So if you are saying search the button, don't create it to be over expanding multiple scenarios. These are two different scenarios. Search is one scenario. Search a mobile phone is one scenario. And checking if the links are working. Like, you know, those links, you see different options, okay? All those things here. When you Google pulls out your search, but you see different options here. So this search is one scenario. Then checking if the link, click on the link button, is another what? Scenario. Search box is one scenario. I'm searching this particular iPhone. Then when you open into that particular different options on that your Google search, you're going to see a link. So click on that link again is another scenario. That is, click on that link. If that link are working fine, this is another scenario. All your words, all your scenarios should be simple. Check that requirement in isolation. What this means is like you are doing end-to-end testing, for instance. So when you are trying to test one particular application and you have to log in to check if you open the home page. In a test scenario, 2 scenarios should be there. Can someone tell what kind of scenario you have to do? You have to check.
Search and check.
Exactly, you have to search. Exactly. So if I'm saying check that requirement in isolation, what this means is that you are doing end-to-end testing. Like, suppose you are trying to test one particular application and you are to log in to check if it will open the home page. So the possible scenario you have to do is that in that test scenario, 2 scenarios should be there. Number 1, as Sinka said, you have to do what? Able to log in. You should be able to log in into the application. That's number 1. You should be able to log into the application. The test scenario, you shall log in with different username and password, different numeric numbers, you see, it's different scenarios. You have to log in first. Either I will come to test cases for that, but I'm talking about scenarios right now. So the possible distance you have to, the user able to log in. You should be able to log in. One should be able to, I'm able to log into that particular application, right? Log in first. Then that's one scenario. 2 is that another is after login, landing into that home page of that application. Because when you log in, I should be able to land into that home page. So these are possible scenarios. If I have to check an application, your application, such as your Facebook.com e-commerce application or social media applications like that. So you should be able to, if you are taking any scenarios on that particular application, the user should be able to log in. That's one scenario. If it's logging with alphanumeric numbers or capital letters, but you should be able to log in, whether using alphanumeric numbers or whatever, but you should be able to log in. Then after login, that's why I say test in isolation. Don't say log in and check the landing page. No, break it down. So you should be able to log in. When you log in, it should make sure that you're able to land into that particular home page. You are seeing what you want to see. You're able to see your account information. You're able to see your profile page and all those stuff for the application. That's why I said I check that requirement in isolation. So scenarios should be tested in isolation. You remember last section, I was telling you about vModel. Anyone remember? Well, if you go back to your vModel. Abraham, do you remember vModel? When you're talking about SDLC? Frank, this you remember vModel? Anyone that went back to the videos, take notes? We talk about testing isolation. Yeah, you remember the vModel?
Yes.
Okay. Where you have your unit testing, you have your system testing, then system integration testing, then all those things. So all this unit testing, system testing, component testing,
Acceptance testing.
acceptor test. I think that's the last phase or so. Acceptor
Yeah,
testing.
that's the last phase.
You understand? So in the last session, we discussed about unit testing, component testing, So every component should be tested in what isolation? You should test it in isolation. So this is very important. Don't do complicated test scenarios, okay? Every test requirement in isolation. So you said the number of scenarios may be large. It is expensive to run them all. Based on customer priorities, only run selected test scenarios. When you will be creating test scenarios, there will be possibility of having thousands of scenarios. Like I can see your application. Facebook is a huge application. You can create thousands or 5,000 testing scenarios in that. For those that do automation, what you're going to do? So that's why I said the number of scenarios may be large and it's expensive to run them all because you have limited time to hit the production server. So based on customer priorities, what the customer required, what can be your customer priorities? At least that login page should be there, right? Usually already are able to log in. So based on customer, those are priorities one. I want to take it practical, so I want to break it down so you guys will understand more about all these things. Okay. So Laurie, are you there? Can you? Mike, can you hear me?
I'm here.
Okay. So based on customer requirement, you can see what I'm saying that what this is talking about based on customer requirement is this is very important, right? When you go to Google page, what do you actually do on this Google page here? What comes to your mind? Why are you here?
Searching for things.
Searching for things. Do you go start clicking on settings and privacy condition, all those stuff like that? Terms and condition. Going to updates. The 2021, 2020, 2012, welcome to Google. All those. Do you go to test all the things working fine?
No.
Or trying to check the functionalities of all those things and expecting all these things. So what you actually do here is to check this thing if everything is working fine. Okay. Try to input some values here. And it's going to take infinity, all those stuff like that. So that's why I meant by the number of scenarios will be large and it's expensive to run them all based on customer priorities. Only run selected test scenarios. So when you be creating your test scenarios, there will be possibilities of having thousands of scenarios. So what you going to run if you are to deliver the software in next 2 hours? I cannot execute all these. I cannot execute. I can't execute all these scenarios, I can't execute all these things because the application may be so large. Okay. So at least this login sign in should be working fine. Selected test scenarios, all these things should be working. What is in basic things first, right here, you have to see that user can able to. So as I said, using by the customer's requirements, you should run your test cases, run your selected test cases, test scenarios based on customer priorities. There will be possibilities of having thousands of scenarios. So what you're going to run if you are to deliver the software in the next 2 hours, I cannot execute all thousands test scenarios in the next 2 hours. So there comes the testing techniques, okay, where I have to pick the priorities. But we're going to discuss about that in our next section about that's the next topic we'll go into the next phase, basic techniques and all those things. So you have to think a lot, okay? You have to think a lot when creating test scenarios, okay? I also tell you that test scenarios can also be called test condition, test possibilities. They're all the same words they use. So, for instance, if I have to test my mobile phone, are going to be my test possibilities? What testing will I want to carry on if I want to test my mobile phone? Give me some few examples. Anyone? If you have to
Dial.
test the mobile phone, you say what?
Have to test the dialing and the
The
receiving.
dialing. The dialing, because the dialing also, you are breaking it down now. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 keyboards and all those things. Okay, so you break it down, that's test cases. I don't want to go into much about that. We are just talking about test scenarios. So the possibilities of testing a mobile phone now, you say your dialing, okay, and what again? Anyone? What it can be your possibilities?
Yeah, power switching on.
Since your own, that means I have to break it down now. I have to use my code now. What different type C, type 2, or type whatever. That's the test cases for that. Okay, so screen text. Yes, screen test will be there, and keyboard, keyboard test. So all these are components, okay? These are components. All these are practical example of our scenarios, okay? Messages can be sent or not, or messages cannot be sent or not. So these are not test scenarios, possibly test scenarios for your testing your mobile application. And you download that application, okay, on your phone to your Google app. Okay, when you download any application, the application can be, if you have installed any application, it is opening or not. This can also be your possibilities, test possibilities. You can also take from that particular thing. Okay, so that's test scenarios. All right. Any question?
Yeah, can we define that as part of functionality testing, right?
Functionality testing. You are testing the UI base, your functions, how it works, what are the functions. You are doing the UI based testing, user interface, UI.
User
So
interface, okay.
yes, I doing the functional testing, how the application is going to work. What I don't show to your chasebrand.com and they already giving you the environment where testing will happen. Okay. They're already giving you the environment where tests happen. So you have to start doing your testing for that
So
particular application.
on the other side, so what determines the priority?
The priority is based on business conditions. Okay. So based on business conditions, you have to start testing the priority one. We're going to talk about that low priority, medium, minor, and all those stuff, which are the priority cases you have to do. Then you start using bugs if you have any bugs in that system.
So quick question. Have there been, and I'm pretty sure they are, but how frequent have there been situations where, based on business requirements, the testers cannot make the deadline that the client gives? Can they postpone? Can they extend the deadline dates because of that? What if they give you like 20 requirements, or they give you 10 requirements, and you know that your team cannot finish it in 2 weeks or 1 month, and you need an extension? Does that happen a lot?
In that case, that's why you have the priority ones you have to, because when we start talking about doing your Scrum Agile and all those deployment of your application, you know who and who is going on vacation and how we're going to go into this particular testing. So we have to deploy this particular testing in a timely manner because it's agile. Everybody have to work in speed. So that's the work of the Scrum Master. I don't want to much go into that. When we start doing about agile, they understand that. But mostly you have to deploy that particular software based on priorities. Because the one that is more priorities, the Scrum Master have to put that in a bucket. Okay, that's what you start working on. You go into the sprints. We have already decided, it's another different topic, but once we got there, you understand, your dad will be able to understand that. because there's what we call velocity of that particular story. What kind of velocity, how how able to handle this particular application. You have to vote. You said this is 2-pointer, 3-pointer. Okay, everybody in the team will vote. So you say this can only be done within some few hours. This can be done within just a whole day, to take a whole day to finish the particular testing. So why are we giving it for 2 days? So based on those particular velocity, before it can be able to pay in and you can start testing. So everything is already there for that particular tool. We have to execute everything. So we already done planning phase of it first. But this is what we're going to do when we're talking about Agile, Scrum. Everybody effort estimation is being considered. All this is done in the SDLC phase 2, the planning phase, before you come into testing. Anyone have any question, correct? So test scenarios.
No question.
Okay, you know what test scenario is? It's a functionality that have to be tested. You know what test plan is, that test strategy. What are the functions you have to test? What are these test scenarios? How to check that in isolation? Don't create a complicated test scenario spanning multiple requirements. The number of test scenarios may be large and it's expensive to run them all. It's not possible anymore. So we have to work based on customer priorities, only run test scenarios, only run selected test scenarios. Okay, so now we talk about test cases now. What are test cases? A test cases is a set of actions executed to verify a particular feature or functionality of a particular software application. So that is a set of action you have to take for any functionality to test it. It's just like you are breaking it down. Okay. So for those that did sciences, I think what is an atom?
An atom is the smallest particle.
Exactly, the smallest particle.
It's
So
indivisible.
indivisible particle of an element, right?
You have an element, yeah.
So just like the same thing. This is a what? I would say your banking application now, this one now is a scenario now. It's large. You see all these things. So breaking it down now, you see username and password, so you are entering I'm going to test this particular, I'm breaking this thing down. I map out this one now. If I map out this one, now, I have to test for his username. This is username, and this is password. And username now I have to test for what? Alphabetical numbers, alphabets. Then I have also test for alphanumeric. So how this application now, Nika is talking about function. These are the function. This is UI based. So how this application is going to behave? This is what I'm testing. Okay, so I'm testing different things. I'm mapping out. This is now my test case now. Test case is a step of action. You are breaking down just like an atom, the smallest. I'm testing for alphanumeric, I'm testing for alphabetical number, I'm testing for characters, I'm testing for alphanumeric characters, they are doing kind of permutation and combination, testing how this application is going to behave when user start using it. That is set of actions you have to take for any functionality to test it. So test case is a set of actions. That is one scenario we have more than one test case mapped to it. One scenario, we have multiple test cases mapped to it. Okay, that's what these test cases are. Is it breaking down? So test case is a set of actions executed to verify particular functionality of a feature or functionality of your software application. So one test case, one scenario, we have multiple test case mapped to it. Okay. So, and I have an assignment to you. That's why you have to, I'm giving some time so you have to do this assignment. Okay. So I'm going to give you an assignment to all of you. So in this assignment, you're going to create top 5 test cases for any e-commerce application. Can you see my screen? If you can write it down. Can you see what I put up on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, now the assignment is going to be, you have to create top 5 test scenarios for any e-commerce application and corresponding test cases for it. Create 5 test scenarios for any e-commerce. You know what e-commerce application is? Your eBay. Okay, application and corresponding test cases. Take anyone that comes to your mind. Okay, how to create a test case, and I will help you with that. Okay, so that's what we're going to right now. So this is the assignment you have to pull up on the screen. So if you want to write it down, you can write it down, and then I will be sending it. So the other one is to create top 5 test scenarios and corresponding test cases for payment gateway, which is based as mobile application. One thing is that you can see that the first one, you do it as a form of a website. Okay, you take the first one as website, and the second you take the mobile application. That is the first, you take it as a website. The second, you take it as a mobile application. 5 test scenarios for any e-commerce application. This is going to be for websites, and the other is going to be for mobile application. 5 test scenarios and corresponding test cases for payment gateway, which is based as a mobile application. Okay. The first, you're going to take it as a mobile application. The first, you're going to take it as a website, and the second, you take it as a mobile application. This is the first, that is, you take it as a website. The second, you take it as a mobile application. All right. Do you get it now?
Yeah.
Do you write it down, or I should send it later on after the class on the Zoom?
I have it down. I was gonna
You can
ask.
snapshot it, then people can just do that and put it.
Okay. Okay. This is one of the top interview questions being asked in your interview. As I want to share with you, that's the top 5 interview questions we ask, different between test case and test scenarios. All right. So can someone tell me if you want to do it right now, you want to just do it in class right now? We don't have much time because we just have like
Can you please put it back to the screen where you had the definition of the test case?
I say test cases. No, you're breaking it down. A scenario. When you have a scenario, it's just multiple chase by application. Okay, it's large. So you can have thousands of test scenarios. You can create thousands of test scenarios in that. So breaking down those test scenarios is what I mean by test cases. So test cases is step action taken to perform any functionality. Test case is a set of actions. That is one scenario. We have more than one test cases mapped to it.
Okay.
A test case is a set of actions executed to verify a particular feature or functionality of your software application, your Facebook or Chase Bank. So you are taking a step of actions now. I'm breaking down to check them one after the other, end-to-end testing, one after the other. I'm breaking down to check the functionality. Step of action being taken. So these are one of those topics that the question may ask. Difference between test case and test scenarios. Any functionality that's going to be tested is what is a test scenario. Test case is breaking down of those functionalities. That's the test case. Step of action carried out. So what is requirement to usability matrix? Can someone tell me? I just give you a highlight, but I'm going to do for this, I'm going to take a class on that one so understand what it is. It's been done on your test manager, or if you are sitting as a vying for the position for the role of a test manager or test lead, you should know much about requirement to usability matrix. And if you know much about this, that means you know much about testing. So that's why we will take a class for that. And next class we will deal with requirement to usability matrix. What is it? I told you in that section. Can someone give me a highlight of what I told you, high level, or what this requirement to usability matrix is? Anyone?
Like when a client gives you information, the business requirements documentation is created, and then the testing team creates what is called test scenarios. In other words, they create test cases. I don't know. That's what I
The
thought.
mapping of all these things, from the business requirement documentation, from the test scenarios, from the map of all these things, that's what we call test requirement to usability matrix. It covers everything from the business people down to the testers, and even anything that happened, the time that I used to execute your testing, automation testing, taglines, and everything. I'll give you details of that when I'm talking about STLC. So that's in high level what this requirement to usability matrix is.
Okay, so
Okay.
the mapping of everything with the test cases and scenarios and the
Everything.
requirements is okay.
So how will you do test planning for any website which is rapidly changing? Rapidly changes. How will you do test planning for any website which is rapidly changing? What automation tool you will do, you will have, what kind of a manual testing effort you'll be doing. This one, actually, you will not get much about it. You won't be able to answer that question, but when we start doing, we will do that in the next section when we're talking about sanity testing, talking about smoke testing, all those stuff. So how will you test, how will you do test planning for any website which is rapidly changing, like e-commerce applications? It rapidly changes. They change their website day to day because of some of sales are coming up. Like now we have a Memorial Days, so we have Memorial Day sales coming in. So they're going to put a lot of things on website. It's already changed. It wasn't like that last week or months ago or so. So how will you do? To answer that question, to answer, like, you have created thousands of scenarios in the next 2 hours. You have to deploy this website to the production server, okay? What kind of testing plan you'll be doing? If I have thousands of automation scenarios which already been created, then I will execute all the test scenarios and all the major functionality I will check manually, okay? Like those doing automation, that really takes a lot of test scenarios for that. That's why automation. So you have to run them, okay? But all those ones that are the major functionalities, like all those login page, the one are just the partially impacted ones that just came into the website, you have to do them manually. You have to check it manually. So to answer that question, that is what it is. But you will understand more about that when we start doing about testing techniques and sanity testing, smoke testing, and all those stuff like that. So what is bug, defect, error, and failure? That's one thing I didn't go much about, which is tied up to these defects too. I was able to do in the last session. So can someone tell me what is a bug, what is defects?
The bug is, so do we just do it the way it is? Okay, so bug is detected actually by the tester. an error is a mistake by the developer. And if the error is not caught by the developer, then the tester catches the bug. If the tester does not catch the bug, then the customer will see defects. So for example, a mobile phone. If, for example, the mobile phone is supposed to call, text, and leave voice messages, and the developer who was supposed to get the coding and all that stuff has an error on there. Let's say the developer did not find the error that maybe a code which was supposed to allow them to text actually would do voice to text or would do voicemail to text. If it gets to the tester and the tester finds that bug, the tester is able to catch that and it will be corrected. But if the tester does not catch that and it gets to the customer will see the defect and the customer will say, well, my phone, for some reason, it is defective because I'm unable to text. Anytime I try to leave voice messages, it turns to voice to message. So that is what I understand.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, and also talking explain more about defect. I hope you guys got what it is, right? Bug, defect, error, and all the stuff like that. What is that failure? It's tied up to that defect. So when defect is with the customer, then there will be failure in the system. All right. What is that failure? Which when defect is with the customer, then there will be failure in the system. If the defect is going to be, if the defect is going to the user, it will cause failure to that system. Okay, they will say your software has failed in this particular scenario. Right? So in test cases, there are various fields. I will tell you how to go about this assignment, how to create test cases. Number one thing you should know about creating test cases. I hope everyone is clear with this top interview questions, right? Yinka, are you clear with it? Frank, are you clear with that?
Yes.
Okay. So now how to create test cases from this assignment. I say you should do 5 test scenarios in e-commerce applications, take it out the website, the other one should take it out say mobile phone application, all those stuff like that. So this assignment we should do, please try and do the assignment so that because this is your field. That's why I took a long time to make sure that you guys clear about this thing. So you know what test case is? In test case, okay, I'll say it's breaking down for any functionality step by step. So in test case, what happened in test case? Why creating test cases is that in test case, there are various fields that are very useful. Okay, when creating test cases, there are various fields that are very useful. First of all, you do what we call test case number in tabular form. Okay, your Excel sheet. I don't want to show you what you're going to do. There's always a test case number. Test case number. Okay, you're going to have a test case number. I will give a sample in next section, but I don't want to give you those clues so that you know how to do that. I'm not happy for showing that. So in test case number is very important because by logging in that bug, okay, maybe find a bug in any application, we have to write, okay, in this bug, you will tell, I found this issue in test case number 1. That is TC. You can call it TC underscore 1. That's test case 1. Okay. In this test case 1, I found this bug. Okay. So, and you then explain about it. After this comes test scenario. Test what? I'm sorry about my writing here. It's using a block. So test scenario. After calling this, call the test scenario. Okay. What test scenario you are trying to cover? What are the test scenario you're trying to cover? I'm trying to do this and that. What functionality I'm trying to cover? Maybe you are testing the e-commerce application or testing the login functionality of that particular application, okay? Or what's the function you want to carry on this particular huge application? Test scenario. What am I going to carry on? Okay, maybe testing the login functionality of a Gmail, of Chaseback application. So that comes under test scenario. Remember what I said test scenario is testing the functionality of any application. That's test scenario. The breaking down of that thing is what we call test case. Each test scenario, each test scenarios, we have multiple test cases mapped to it. Each test scenario has multiple test case mapped to it. So after that comes the test scenario. What test scenario you are trying to cover? One test scenario, we have multiple test case mapped to it. One test scenario, we have multiple test cases mapped to it. Multiple. Okay? Just one test case. We have one test scenario, we have multiple test case mapped to it. I'll show you that, but don't follow me in sequence, okay? Any question? Mike, do you have any question? I said, after then, you are test case number 1. You can say TS_1, okay? Because you have the TS, in case you find the bug, you have to say it here that in this scenario, in this test case, we found this bug, okay? The after come test scenarios is tabular form, okay? You follow it one after the other, all right? That's to write your test cases, all right? So after then comes test scenario, okay? Then after that, we have what they call what? Precondition. Precondition. Like suppose I'm checking the login page of this application now. I'm checking the login page. I'm checking the login page of this application, of this Chase Bank application. So can someone tell me what is going to be my precondition for this particular application? What's going to be my precondition? I'm checking the login page of this Chase Bank application. So what's going to be my precondition?
Precondition can be like to put in the username and the
No.
password to see the reaction.
The precondition, you have to have an account with Chase Bank. That will give you username and password.
Yes.
Precondition, you should have internet access.
Yes, that's just it. The precondition should be your website, or the website should be up and running. That's the precondition for us. For able to use it, for you to get access to it, your login or whatever. The precondition, whether you log in, how can you log in when your website is not working? I can't even open the web page. So the precondition should be the website should be what? Should be up and running. So like I'm testing the friend suggestion from the social media application, like your first suggestion, your Facebook application. So what's going to be your precondition and prerequisite? They're all the same in case you guys see anything like that. Okay. Precondition and prerequisites. They're all the same. Okay. Precondition, prerequisite, they're all the same. Okay. So don't get it twisted, all right? Precondition or prerequisites, they're all the same. So if I'm testing the friend suggestion from the social media application, the prerequisite for this will be valid login. Okay. Valid login. So don't get it twisted, right? So the prerequisite should be this particular user should have a valid login. So prerequisite and precondition both are same thing. All right. So after then, any question in regards to that? Anyone have any doubts? Test case number, test scenarios, precondition or prerequisite? From your own perspective, okay, depend what you are testing. If I have to log in into any page, okay, my precondition should be that the web page should be up and running. If I'm to test friend suggestion in a Facebook application, those text box, they have to test this friend suggestion. The prerequisite should be I should be able to log in with a valid login account. All right. So prerequisite and precondition both are same thing. So after then, that comes test steps. Test what? Test steps. So what are going to be your test steps? What you do to that is log into that application. What are your test steps? What you log into when you log into our application? What you do? What you do? That is, you log into the application. You do what? You click, right? You select the actions you're going to do on that particular application. All this will be under your test steps. Okay, what you do when you log into an application, what are you going to do? What are going to be your actions when you log into an application? So that's going to be your test steps. Where you're writing this your test cases. What you're going to do.
I want to understand the difference between the test cases and the test steps. Since the test cases is the breaking down of this thing of the test scenarios in the small units, why do we need to have
your test? These are your test cases you are writing. Okay. Test step is the action you're going to do. What is when you log into an application? When you log into an application, what are you going to do in that application? So that's why I put that my steps are going to do what I'm going to do when I able to land into that particular homepage. It depends what kind of test cases you are carrying. Okay. So what are going to be my test steps when I log into application? What do I want to do? I want to click on that web link. I want to type in my username in that particular page. You know, I have to select, you know, you do some kind of actions. So all those things fall under your test steps when you're writing your test cases. Are you not breaking it down? You're breaking it down. Okay. So you click. What are the steps? You select, you copy, you do a lot of things. What manner of things? That's going to be your test step. What you will do, that is logging into that application. You click, you select, all these things to be under your test steps. So after that comes expected result. Expected what? Expected result. The expected result will be logging into the application. Suppose logging is my action, then the expected result corresponded to this step. User logged in successfully will be my expected result, right? When I carry all these steps, you see that user were able to log in successfully, expected result. all right? So then you have your test data. Someone asked me, so is this Michael? He asked me, what is this test data? In last session, say that. So ask me, what is this test data? Like, suppose I'm searching anything. This is maybe this your this is your Google search box, right? This is your search box. Google search box. So anything I input into this particular search box is called my test data. Okay, like you want to search a news field, you want to search maybe what is the NBC News today, CNN News today, how many hours is transport to this place. Anything you're inputting into this particular application, like in your own organization, they may give you a dummy something what you're going to use to test any functionality on your this particular application. So anything you're inputting into a particular page here is called your test data. Okay, so you're going to include your test data when you're writing your test scripts. I mean your test cases. Okay, you're going to input this in your test script, okay, in your test data. So your test case number, test scenarios, precondition or prerequisite are all the same, okay? It depends on what you are testing. So what is the precondition if you are to log into this particular application? If you are to log into this particular application, your precondition is that this website should be up and running before you're able to log in. So that's going to be your precondition, all right? So then you have your test steps, what you're going to carry on, or it depends on what your test case you are writing. So test step is that I want to do these actions you want to perform. You want to click, you want to select, you want to copy. Everything you're going to do on your test, that's going to be under your test steps. What you do, that is you log into the application, you really click, you select, all these things will be under your test steps. After then comes your expected result. The expected result will be logging into the application. Okay, suppose login is my action. Suppose login is my action that I'm able to do here in this Chase.by application. And when I input my username and password, what's going to be my expected result? Expected result will be user was able to log in successfully. What are those text data that I use? I was able to input 1, 2, 3 alphanumeric numbers, characters in this application to test different functionality. Steps I took. Type in alphanumeric numbers, capital letters, all those things. So you have to put this in your test case you are carrying on. So that's your test data. Any field, anything you're inputting in that particular text box. Like for instance, your Google search box now, you want to type in anything, you want to search any iPhone 12 or all those things. So anything you are searching there, you have that iPhone 12, you put in this text box is what we call your text data. Suppose I'm searching anything on Google and I'm creating a test case to search anything on Google. So the test data will be anything I'm entering in that particular application. Like I'm searching news on Google. So my test data will become the news there. Suppose you are logging into an application. So username and password is going to be your what? Your test data. Any question?
Yes, I have a question, and I'm so sorry to take you back. So I understand everything from the precondition to test steps, expected results. Here is what I still do not understand. I don't know why. The test case, maybe because you gave us examples of what the other things were, the test case and the test scenario, I do know what it is, but in this case, the test case, so if my test case 1 is, I want to see the effectiveness of chase.com, the test scenario, would it be, I want to see how successfully I will log into chase.com? Is that how it's supposed to be for the test case?
Yes, the scenario you're carrying is a multiple scenario now. Okay. I want to show you that, but most of you will be so smart to go and watch the video again. Take all this. I don't want to show you this, but now this is what I want to carry a functionality on. This is my test scenario. Okay. So this is my test case ID. Okay, that test case number 1. I want to carry a functionality on a Google search box. If you see.
No, I don't see. I don't see anything. I only see the
Chase
screen.
Bank.
No, I see Chase Bank.
Okay. Now this is what I want to carry, google.com. You say I'm carrying up I want to carry a test scenario on this Google web page. Okay. So what will be my test scenario is to test the functionality of a Google search box. This is a huge application, right? So my test scenario is that I want to carry up a test scenario on to test the functionality of a Google search box, this one here. Now, my test case is a breaking down of all these things. So related to one scenario, we have 4 test cases. We have 4 test cases to that. Related to this test scenario, I told you that in every test scenario, there are multiple test cases mapped to it. So now, to test the functionality of the Google search box, look at, I have multiple test cases mapped to just this test scenario. I'm verifying with alphabetical keywords, all right? So you can see I have 4 test cases and I have my precondition. What are going to be my precondition? My website should be up and running, right? My website should be working. So in all those test cases, the preconditions are all the same. If I'm coming alphabetic keywords, I'm covering numeric keyword, I'm having test cases for alphanumeric keywords, verify for text box with special characters. The preconditions are all the same thing, is that the website should be up and running. Okay, so my test data is this alphabetical word, okay? Alphabet, A, B, C, D. And the test case for just this scenario, I'm having numeric numbers. I'm carrying numeric number. I'm typing numeric numbers here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm typing A, B, C, D. How are you going to behave? Okay. I'm searching for this. So my test step is that go to what actions I have to perform. If a user said is able to do what to perform these actions on this particular web page, go to URL. You know what URL is? You log in the URL. Go to URL and hit google.com. Press enter. Expected result is that system should open all result of ABCD in autocomplete text box field. So if the user goes to here and type ABCD, try enter, you should see that all this thing we put up. So you can see my test scenario. I'm to test the functionality of a Google search box. This is what I did, ABCD, the test step, test data, expected results. You see that. So each test case have the same preconditions. The preconditions for this alphabet website is up and running. tests of numeric numbers, tests are running. Text box alphanumeric, the website should be running. Characters, the website should be up and running. And in test step, all the same. Go to URL and hit google.com and press enter. .com, press enter, press enter. For all these things, they're all the same thing is being covered. Okay, so now I'm going to what the buttons here to test the functionality of the Google buttons. Okay, like, these are functions. So what we are saying now is that scenarios is multiple requirement is mapped out to this particular scenario, multiple things in map out. For each scenario, we have different test cases mapped to it. I hope I make your doubt clear with that.
Very well. Thank you so much.
So you guys going to do this, and then you take assignment from this one I give you today. So you create your own test scenario. So you have just like 10 minutes to end. Any question with regards to that? You can go watch YouTube videos, and I'm going to give you this, but how to create test scenario. You can use this to, but I won't give you in the next section how to create test scenario, but I'll just give you in high level how you to create test scenario. Scenarios are functional, large, so you have to break it down. That is your test scenarios.
Where do you want us to submit the assignment?
This week.
Where do we?
I will give you the email where I have to submit this thing. So take any e-commerce application of your choice and then create your test scenario for that. So I'll just give you in high level what test, how to create your test scenarios and how to create your test cases to that. Any question? Give you submit any questions. So you can see alphanumeric numbers. You see great place you get inputting all these things into your web page, and you see how it behaves using your test data. Testing it with your alphanumeric numbers, and your test steps is that you're able to log into google.com and press enter and see what is this actual result. Okay, the expected results.
The test case first before test scenario on the table, not the other way. Okay.
Remember, I'm just carrying to test the functionality of Google search box. That's my scenario, right? Related to one scenario, we have 4 test cases. Okay, I told you that for any scenario, there are going to be multiple test cases mapped to that. And the precondition should be Google website should be working. That is all prerequisites. We have for all test cases, for these test cases, we have 4 prerequisites or preconditions. They're all the same. Okay, the website should be up and running. Then comes test data. What I'm checking here is alphabetic number, alphabet. Okay. Also numeric. I'm checking for numeric numbers. I will type 1, 2, 3 on this Google website on this search box. I will type alphanumeric numbers on this Google website. Okay. So I'm checking for different functionalities there. And then, I'm also checking for alphabet numbers, numeric, characters. And if I'm checking for special characters, I will type all special characters and see how it's going to behave. I'm checking out the rates, I'm checking for percentile, I'm checking for brackets, I'm checking for plus. So these are characters. So test steps, we go to the URL and hit google.com. Okay. So press enter. So these are just, you are carrying step-by-step action. That's the step you are doing. You are creating test cases for this particular functionalities. I have given you how you're able to do that, how you're able to carry your test scenarios, and how you're able to write those test scenarios. These are data, and how you to carry all those things. Then you can see we have an actual result. Okay, actual result. Yes, we will put the actual result here. We'll be creating these test cases in the first. All these things you see here, these are what you'll be creating when you are doing your what? When you are doing your test cases, test execution, right? You are creating your test steps, your STLC, your test case development. This what you'll be doing, your test case development. Remember when we are doing your test case development, you'll be doing all these things in your test case development phase. So when it comes to your test execution, this is what you'll be doing. So this actual result will come when you are doing your execution phase. In your STLC, we did test case development, right? So all these things will be in your test case development. But when it comes to actual results will come when you are doing your what? Your execution phase. Actual result comes when you're doing your execution phase. In your STLC, you'll be creating test cases in the first phase of the STLC. You will put the actual result in the execution phase, okay? But you will create this much information during this. All this information will be creating when you are doing the test creation phase. So the actual result here is the test execution phase. Suppose this is given to the actual result, and then I will write the system is given, like here, maybe you're not getting your, when you type in your ABCD on that particular Google search box and you're not getting the actual result, that means you say system is giving alphanumeric numbers, or system is giving alphanumeric results. So in that case, that means your system is then mapping them as pass or fail. But the assignment I'm giving you, you're not actually doing the actual test anyway, just writing the test case development phase of it. This actual result is when you are executing your test cases in your industry then. So if this thing is not giving you what you expected, then your test case is either pass or fail. If you give you the actual result, when you type your ABC, then your test case is passed. If it's not giving you that ABCD, you type in that particular test data on your Google search box, that means your test case is failed. Okay? So that's what you'll be doing in your day-to-day activity. So we are just 2 minutes to end the class. If you have any questions, you let me know before we end the class. Any doubts? Do you have any question before any class? Anybody have a question? Abraham, Olua, you have a question? Mike, do you have a question before end? What are different between test cases? All right. How to create test scenarios, you can see that. So those in high level scenarios is very, very large. You have to break it down. So I'm just carrying your test case. You have to have your test case number to that. The scenario is I want to carry what I want to carry. I want to test the functionality of a Google search box. This Google search box. I want to test the functionality of a Google search box or what. Just take anyone. Okay. If your Facebook.com, your sign-in page, you want to carry your test key for that particular sign-in, for that your chaseback.com, or anything you want to carry on your Facebook.com or anything. So verify your text box with alphanumeric numbers. So prioritize your precondition. These are your test steps you're carrying. So test case, you break it down of all these test scenarios. For each test scenarios, you have multiple test case mapped to it. You want to do for alphabetic keywords, you want to do for numeric keywords, you want to do for alphanumeric keywords, and all those stuff like that. So what I'm going to be my preconditions for this, I want to carry on. My website should be up and running. If my website is not working, I can't able to test all these things. So these are the tabular forms you have to do when you are doing you are writing your test cases. All right. So your preconditions will be there. Your test data should be there because your test data is what you want to use for actual testing. Okay. ABCD first. Hit the URL, google.com, and press enter. Expected results should be open. The user should be able to land into that particular page. System should open all results of ABCD in autocomplete text, but anyhow you put it. All right. So this test case you are doing here is when you are doing your STLC. Remember your test case development. That's what you are doing right here. Test case development, environmental setup. Okay, you are setting your test case. Then environmental setup, you are testing that particular your particular environment for testing. They're going to give environment where you have to do your testing. So test execution is that case where you have to do your actual results, where you have to execute your test case. You have to execute your test case. That's the execution phase. Okay. When you type in this ABCD on that particular Google search box and you're not finding that thing, it's not putting out that information, then your test is failed. That's that test execution I'm trying to tell you in that STLC. So I'm going to end it right here. So do you want to go back to your video and do the assignment? Then meet in test class. We'll move in the next section where we'll go into your recommended traceability matrix. This is your own phase. Okay. So that is it for today. This is how much you can be able to do for today. So try to do your assignment. Then I will give you the email where you're going to send your assignment. So watch the video again, they're able to do your assignment. So any question before we end, you can solely